I don't want to say this to make you depressed or sad or to make you feel any emotion for that matter, or to say that I am better than anyone, because I am not. But the truth of the universe that we have to accept is that most likely we are all replaceable, except a very select few who have become so great at something that they're literally one of one. And so you have to become a one of one, like an Isaac Newton. Because if you think about it, Isaac Newton, has done so much great stuff in his life, or well, he did so much great stuff in his life, that he's not replaceable. You look at the world where Isaac Newton didn't exist and the world where he does exist, the world we currently exist in, and they look completely different because he did something so great. Same, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Einstein, all kinds of people. And so the reality is that if you don't have some special skill and you're not super good and amazing at something, then most likely you are replaceable. And the same is with me. I'm not better. It's not like I'm not replaceable. I'm definitely replaceable. And what that means is that, well, sure, that might be the current situation, but the current situation can be changed. But the first step to changing the current situation is accepting it. And so first we must accept that, okay, in the current moment of time, we might not be super great at something to where we are a literal one of one. But we can change that. We can dedicate ourselves to something, and it doesn't really matter what that something is for you. But as long as you dedicate yourself to something and become so great at it, so specialized, so amazing, that no one can match you, you will no longer be replaceable. And so if you don't want to be replaceable, that means that you have to be different from everyone. Literally everyone. You cannot be irreplaceable and fit in. Because if there is even a single person like you, with the skills you have, the talents you have, who can do all the things you can do, that means they can replace you. And so if you want to be irreplaceable, you don't want anyone to be able to replace you, you have to be different from literally everyone. And it hurts. And the unfortunate thing is that therefore you have to be different from everyone. You have to be so exceptional that there is no one like you. You will be alone. That's what it means. And yeah, it's sad and it's depressing. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can also view it as a great thing. You can feel like, wow, I get to be exceptional. I get to be different from everyone. I get to be someone that no one else will ever be like. And that should motivate you. And truly the question is, what else can you do? What else can you do except do everything in your power to become so great and exceptional that no one can match you? What else can you do except learn all the skills and the talents that no one else has? What else can you do except become so dedicated that no one understands you? What else can you do except be so extreme in your habits that no one even can compare to you? What else is there to do? Because if you want to be special, if you want to be remembered, you have to be a one of one and different. And that means not fitting in. That means doing things that others won't do. And that means even being alone and not being understood for a while. And the second truth that I realized, which even relates to the first one, is that, well, most of us actually want to be something special. We want to be irreplaceable. I mean, who wants to be replaced by other people? Nobody. And so everyone wants to become great, but then the second thing is, well, what's holding us back? And what I realized is that the truth is that when you ask yourself, what's holding you back? You might say, it's this some people around you, maybe your parents, maybe some sibling, whatever. Or maybe you say the environment. Oh, the environment, I didn't have the opportunity, I didn't have this, that. But if you ask yourself, could you have done anything about those? Could you change the people around you? Could you maybe go out and move on your own and live on your own, and then these people around you won't affect you? Could you maybe change the environment that you live in and that you are around? And usually the answer is you probably could, but it's just scary. You're too afraid. And once again, I am no better. I've been afraid in my life about making big decisions and changes. I was afraid to make my first video. I did it anyway. And so what you have to realize is that the real thing that is holding you back is the fear about what others might think or what might happen. And yeah, it hurts to accept it, that it is your fault in a sense, that you let this fear control you. But you have to take responsibility and you have to take accountability. Because if you don't take responsibility for your life and you don't take accountability for your life, then by definition, someone else has that. If you say that I'm not responsible for my life, then that means that someone else is. That means that someone else is in control. Now, I don't know who that person is. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's some other person. Maybe it's the environment. I don't know that. But I know that it's not you. And so if you want to be in control, you have to take responsibility. You have to take accountability, no matter how much it hurts and no matter how afraid you are. But the good thing is that fear is not real. And I'll prove it to you. Think about a pink unicorn. The pink unicorn in your head right now that you're thinking about, it exists only in your head. You cannot touch it. And the moment you stop thinking about it, it disappears. The same is with fear. You cannot touch it, and the moment you stop thinking about fear, it disappears. So if you don't let a pink unicorn make decisions for your life, then don't let fear make decisions for your life. And so fear does not actually exist. It is simply the thing that you imagine in your head. And so don't let it control you. And simply take accountability and responsibility no matter how hard it is. Because that is how you can start to change. And that is how you can actually start on that path and do the things that you want to do. And when you take responsibility and you say, you know what, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I don't care what anyone thinks, and I don't care what the environment or society says about me. That's when you are in control, and that's when you can do anything. And speaking about what society thinks of you, the third truth that I've realized is that society does not matter. Society does not matter. It might sound weird because from a very young age we're constantly, being filled and told that, what, society is so important and this is so valuable and this, that. And in a way, sure, that could be true. But the reality is that societies change, they come and go, they rise up and they fall. And you can even change society if you want. I mean, society is constantly changing, and I feel like the real thing why society doesn't really matter is because it's gonna change. No matter what you do, society will change, it will evolve in some direction. If Rome fell, think about it, if Rome fell, the greatest empire in probably human history fell, then surely whatever civilization you are living in or society that you are living in will also fall. So don't get too attached to it. Don't give too much power to it. And I don't mean that you should go against everything that society says just for the sake of going against society. No. But do what you want to do. And if that means that you have to sometimes push against the boundaries of society, then so be it. Because society is made by humans just like you. And so if this thing we call society is invented by humans just like you, then who are they to say that you are less important to make decisions for what society should look like or what society should be like? And so don't give too much power to society. And you know, I have this definition of adult. And to me, an adult is a person who makes choices and takes responsibility for them. And so you could be 25, 30, whatever years old, and not be an adult by my definition, of course. Maybe by your definition you are, or by someone else's definition. But by my definition, it could be that you're not an adult if you don't make your choices. If you do what your parents tell you, you study what your parents tell you, you go to the job that society says that you should take and never, push the boundaries, then you are not an adult because you're not the one making choices. But it also means that you could be literally 15 and an adult by my definition, because it could be that you're making your own choices. You could be the one taking action and the one who decides what you do with your life. And so be an adult and make your own choices. Take control of your own life. And if that means that society will hate on you and they'll call you all things like toxic masculine or some other made up bullshit, then sure, so be it. Take it as a compliment. Think about it. And the reason why I call it a compliment is that, simply compare two people. Imagine a person who has all the toxic masculine traits, and then imagine a person who has 0 toxic masculine traits, and then just compare. Which one is in better physical shape? Which one is better off financially? Which one has more friends? Which one is more successful? Which one is happier? Which one is more satisfied with their life? Which one would you rather be? Most importantly. And when you start thinking about it like that, it usually makes a very clear choice that, hey, maybe you should have some of these traits. Maybe some of these traits aren't so toxic after all, even though society says that. And so the key part is to realize that societies will change. And so in 200 years, society could be the complete opposite of what it is right now. And so whatever society's standards are right now, and whatever they say, that could change. And so don't let it change you. Because the standards will change, but the life that you want for you probably won't change. And so just do what you want to do. Don't let society dictate your life, but live the life that you want. If society says, be weak, don't be competitive, competition bad, but you're saying, I want to be strong, I want to be ambitious, I want to go out into the competitive fields like business and so on, then do it. Don't let society stop you. Society doesn't matter. Societies come and go. And also you could ask yourself, why seek validation from the same world that crucified a perfect man? Why? And so, let me tell you, you literally owe nothing to society, but you owe everything to yourself and God, and therefore live your life. So, go out there, stay disciplined, and chase your dreams.